It's time to go back to 4th grade and do some long division. All right, here's our first example. We've got a quadratic equation thing at the top, and we've got x minus 3 at the bottom, and we need to divide them using long division. And just to clear up any confusion, this is a fraction. Fractions are the same thing as division. So if this had a divided by sign, it would mean the same thing. So you may remember long division from like way back in elementary school. So for example, let's say we had to divide 68 divided by 4. We would put 68 in this weird like curvy box thing and then put 4 on the outside. And then you would do the steps of divide, multiply, and subtract. So first you'd see how many times 4 goes into 6. Well, only one time, because if you did 4 times 2, that would be 8, and that's too much. So we would have 1. Then you do step 2, which is multiplying. So we take 4 times 1, which is 4. And then finally we subtract. So 6 minus 4 is 2. And then we bring down another digit and then do it all over again. So 28 divided by 4 is 7. 4 times 7 is 28. And then we subtract 28 minus 28 is 0. And we're done. Our final answer is 17. So you might be asking yourself, why am I teaching you long division again from elementary school? Well, we're actually going to do exactly the same thing with polynomials. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this top part here, this first part, and we're going to write it out. And then we're going to put it in that weird box thing. And then we're going to take this second part here, x minus 3, and put it on the outside. And now we're going to do the same steps as before. We're going to divide, multiply, and subtract. So we're going to take this first x part here, and we're going to divide it to x squared. So x squared divided by x. Well, if we were to visualize this, x squared divided by x, we would cancel out an x from the top and the bottom. So we get rid of x, and then here we had 2 of them, now we only have 1. So our final answer would be x. So we're going to put x up here. Now we're going to do step 2, which is multiplying. So we're going to multiply the x to both the x and the minus 3. So first we're going to do x times x, which is x squared. Then we're going to do x times, not 3, minus 3. Remember, the minus signs always stay. So we're going to have x times minus 3, which is just minus 3x. We can't multiply a number and a letter, so it stays the same. And now our final step is to subtract. But in this case, if we were to just do this and add them together, that would be adding. So to subtract, all we have to do is change all the signs. So this is going to become minus, and this is going to become plus. So now we have x squared minus x squared. Well, those cancel each other out, right? That would be equal 0. And then we have 3x plus 3x, which is 6x. And now we're going to bring down, which in elementary school was just bringing down another digit. In this case, it's bringing down another term, another part of this. So we're going to bring down the minus 18, and we're going to do it again. So we're going to divide this first part by this first part. Well, the x's would cancel out, and we just have 6. So we're going to put plus 6. Now we're going to multiply. So we're going to multiply x times 6 and negative 3 times 6. So x times 6, well, you can't multiply a number to letter, so it's just going to stay as 6x. And then negative 3 times 6. Well, 3 times 6 is 18, and then the minus sign stays. And now we just go on to our final step, which is subtract. So we're going to go ahead and change all the signs here at the bottom. So 6x minus 6x, those cancel out. And minus 18 plus 18, those cancel out as well. So that just leaves us with 0. Now we've finished all of our terms here, so we're done with the problem. This number right here, this is going to be our remainder. But because it's 0, we don't have to do anything. If it wasn't 0, then we would have to use a remainder, which I'll talk about in the next problem. But because we don't have a remainder, that's our final answer. Our final answer is x plus 6. All right, here's another example. Go ahead and pause the video, see if you can solve this one yourself, and then unpause and see if you got it right. All right, we're going to do this the same way as before. So we're going to take this top part here, and we're going to put it in that weird box thing. And then on the outside of the box, we're going to put x plus 2. So remember, the steps to long division are divide, multiply, and subtract. So first we're going to divide. We're going to divide the first part of this by the first part of this. So we have 3x squared divided by x. Well, one of the x's is going to cancel out. So we had 2 x's here, now we're only going to have 1. So we're going to have 3x. And if you wanted to visualize that, let's go ahead and write it up here in the corner. 3x squared divided by x. The x crosses out, and one of the x's on the top crosses out. Nothing happens to the 3 because we don't have a number down here. So we're just left with 3x. Now we need to multiply. So we have 3x, and then we're multiplying by another x. So that's going to be 3x squared. And then 3x times 2. Well, nothing's happening to the x, so the x is going to stay the same. But we have 3 times 2, which is 6. So we're going to have 6x. And now our final step is to subtract. So we need to subtract by the bottom. So what we're going to do is just change all the signs. So this is going to be a minus, and this is also going to change to a minus. So 3x squared minus 3x squared, well, those cancel each other out, so that's 0. And then we have plus x minus 6x. We had 1, and then we lost 6 of them, so we're down 5. So it's going to be minus 5x. And now we bring down the minus 8, and we do the same thing again. So divide. We're going to divide the first part of this by the first part of this. So we have minus 5x divided by x. Well, dividing it by x cancels out the x's. So all we have left is the minus 5. So we're going to put minus 5. Now we just have multiplication. So we're going to multiply the minus 5 to both of these. Minus 5 times x is just, well, minus 5x. And then minus 5 times 2. Well, 5 times 2 is 10. And then we have one minus sign. So the minus sign carries over. And now our final step is to subtract. So we're going to go ahead and change these signs. They're both minuses, so now they're going to be both pluses. So minus 5x plus 5x, those cancel out. And then minus 8 plus 10. That's the same thing as saying 10 minus 8. 10 minus 8 is 2. So we're going to be left with 2 here. And we don't have any more terms to bring down, so we're done. We're done with the problem. But before we had a 0 here. Now we have a 2. So our remainder is 2. So what do we do with the remainder? Well, we're just going to take our remainder and we're going to add it as another term in our answer. But it's going to be 2 divided by whatever is here on the outside of our division problem. In this case, it's x plus 2. So it's going to be 2 divided by x plus 2. So there you go. Our final answer is 3x minus 5 plus 2 over x plus 2. So I hope this cleared up a little bit about how to do long division. I know it can be pretty confusing, so just keep practicing problems and you'll get the hang of it the more problems you do. But this actually isn't the only way to solve polynomial division. When you have a simpler part at the bottom, like x plus 3 or x minus 5, you can actually do a faster method called synthetic division. So if you want to learn how to do that, you can watch this video right here. And as always, if you have any questions about long division, go ahead and leave it in the comments and I'll be sure to answer your question. Thanks for watching.